Hello, hello, hello. Hey, my name is Susan Ellingson. I'm a director with Paparazzi. I am going to share with you a little bit about do's and don'ts for resumes. I also have a day job. I am an executive HR director for this company that I work for. And I go through, when we're recruiting for different positions, I go through multitudes of resumes. And so I see so many people that just don't have it, and then others that have really done it. Whoops, my pause drive. Uh-oh, just keeps freezing. I hope it doesn't do that anymore. So here is some do's. You want to have nice paper. You don't want to have, I'll go with the don'ts. Let me go with the don'ts first, and then we'll do with the do's. Don't do bright paper. Don't do bright paper at all. So if I have 200 resumes that I'm going to go through in paper resumes, I will just start tossing. I don't have time to go through each 200, so I will find reasons that I don't have to read your resume. So I will toss it off. I will, if you have a bright paper, if you have anything that's not beige or white, I would say only go beige or white. You can do a thicker paper, that's totally fine. Don't do cardstock, but you could do a thicker paper, that's fine. That's always very professional. Do not put your picture on it. I know that that has been some of the things that people are doing, to put a picture on your resume now. I toss it right out because that sets me up for discrimination, and I don't want any part of that. So never put your picture. I toss them out. I don't even read any further. Toss them out. So no picture, no perfume. I know it sounds kind of silly. I've gotten many that have perfume or cologne on them. Don't do it. Don't do it. No bright pages, as I said. A beige is a really nice because it's really easy on the eyes, and it sets yourself apart a little bit from all of the white ones. Do not make it longer than 2 pages. If it's longer than 2 pages, I don't want to read a book about your life. I just want to know what you have done for the last 10 years. That is the sweet spot. If you have some gaps in your employment, that's okay. Leave the gaps. I will ask you about that. I will inquire more about that. Don't put every little last job. Let's say you had like 10 small jobs for 5 years during there. You did a whole bunch of little jobs. Don't list all of those. I want the major jobs that are going to show me you have had the experience to do the job that you're applying for. So if you worked even like at McDonald's, okay, did you handle money? Did you do time management? Those kind of things. That's fine. But if you just like hopped around to all these jobs, I don't want to see that. So don't put that in there. So no longer than 2 pages at all. Condense it down. If you can fit it on 1 page, that's amazing. But if you have to go to 2 pages, that's fine. Do not do front and back. Only do front pages. Don't do front and back. That's a big no-no. Front pages only. When you list your skills section, don't tell me things that I am already going to assume that you know. If you're applying for an accounting position, don't tell me that you can use an adding machine. I assume you're going to know that already if you're applying for, but if you have something different, let's say you are proficient in Excel. Now that's something I want to know. Or let's say you took a course in grammatical writing. I would want to know that too. That's a little bit different. So don't put things that are so obvious because that's going to waste my time. Think of yourself as a business owner. You have 300 resumes to go through. You only have maybe an hour. You're going to find reasons not to read it. So I don't find reasons to read it. I find reasons not to, and then I toss it out. So your grammar, punctuation, spelling has to be on point. I mean, perfect. And you don't just use spell check. You want to use another person. That's usually what I tell people. Use another person to proofread it, or you can always read your sentence backwards. Because as we read them forward, we tend to read 3 or 4 words at a time. That's just how our mind works. So if you read a sentence backwards, a lot of times you'll see, oh, that's not the right tense of the word, or that's not the right wording that I want to use. So spell check does not always catch because it will only spell check, but maybe you're using the wrong word, maybe you have the punctuation wrong. Always double check that, because the minute I see a misspelled word, in the garbage, in the garbage. I find reasons not to read your resume. So those are some of the not tos. Do's. You do want to use either plain white paper, or if you want to use a beige, but I mean light beige or a heavier stock paper, that's totally fine. That's very professional, very nice. Don't ever fold it. Don't ever fold it. You can fold it in threes to put it in an envelope that way. That's fine. But it is really professional and highly looked upon to put it in an envelope so that you don't have to fold it at all. But whatever you do, don't fold it and fold it and fold it and then stick it in an envelope. That is the worst. I just toss that right out into the garbage. I won't read it. Last 10 years. Don't give me the last 2. Don't give me the last 20. 10 years is where I'm going to see if you have the right things in order of being able to do this job. So the last 10 years. Make it easy to read on the eyes. I always suggest do bullet points. You want to do the top thing. So on the first part, you're going to want to put, I want to know how to get a hold of you. So your name, I want to know your phone number if I want to call you, an email if I want to email you, and then what city you live in. Don't give me your address. That also gives me an opportunity to discriminate, and so I toss that out the door. So just give me the city because I want to know how far it is going to be for you to commute. That is going to be a question that I raise up in an interview. So you want to give me a little bit of information about yourself, how to get a hold of you. Be sure that your email is not your friend's email like Joe Schmo or Hit Me Up or Baby or whatever. Make sure that it is something professional. Gmails are free. You can get one of those. Just get your own Gmail for job searching. You could do that totally fine. I recommend that because I do look at that. There was a gentleman that came in the other day for an interview, and he was very professional. Everything was great. But when he went out to his car, the little thing around his license plate said something very, very inappropriate. Very inappropriate. And he ended up not getting the job because that says a lot about somebody. If you're willing to put that on your license plate, that says a lot about somebody. So anyways, be careful of how you're perceived. So we have so many people applying for jobs. We're trying to find reasons not to look at people so that we can weed all those people out and find the real true people that we want to hire. So give me a reason, give me information of how to get a hold of you. The second thing, you want to have an opening statement. It does not need to be a long paragraph, and it doesn't need to be something you copied off the internet, and it doesn't have to be over the top how you would not talk. I am looking to further my development, but I mean, just put it in there, what you're looking for. I'm looking for an engineering position at a company that I can stay and show my skills and experience and growth in the company. Something similar to that. That's what we want to hear. Don't make it long. Don't waste my time. The next thing you want to do is add your experience first. That's what I want to know first and foremost. Do you have experience to do this job or don't you? So put your most recent position. Let me know if you're still there or not by saying currently employed. And don't take the whole page to tell me everything about that job. Tell me what the job was, where it was, the dates that you were there, and then give me like 5 bullet points of things you did, things you were responsible for, things that you did there, that you did at that job. Then you're going to list all of those for the last 10 years. But like I say, if you like mowed lawns for I don't know, for a friend or something, don't put those kind of things in there. I want jobs that are relevant to the position you are applying for. Then after the experience, then the next thing I'm going to want to know is, okay, what kind of education does he or she have? Do list your high school. I want to know if you graduated high school or not, or if you have your GED. Not that that is something to discriminate against, but it does tell me something different about each person. If you got your GED, that says that you have some drive and you went ahead and got it anyways. Because you didn't get your diploma, you went ahead and got your GED. That's awesome. So give me the education for high school graduation and any college that you have done. Even if you've only done 1 year of college, that says something about you, and I want to know that. Then any certifications. So I don't need a whole explanation of them. They're just bullet points. Certified in accounting 1, certification in welding. Just list the different things that you have. And then after that, I want to know what skills you have. So the skills that pertain to this job. And you may not think that some of these skills pertain to this job, but a lot of times they do. But again, bullet points, and probably no more than 10, I would say. I don't want like pages and pages and pages of bullet points. And I don't want, like, if you're going for an accounting, like I think I said this, and you put down typing and that you know how to use a calculator, I would hope you already know that. So don't tell me that. What are some things that make you stand out, that make me know that yes, this person can do the job? So that might be some of the skills, or that I'm a super fast learner. Okay, that's great. I want to know. Or I'm an on-hands learner. Or perhaps I am very, very visual, and I can do graphics, just depending on what position. I'm trying to think of different positions that people would apply for. And again, perfect grammar, perfect spelling, perfect punctuation. That's going to be a huge thing. I throw out so many resumes that could be stellar people, but if you cannot take the time to make sure that your resume is perfect, then that tells me you are not going to take the time to make sure your work here is perfect as well. So that says a whole lot, because your resume, you're looking for job, you're looking for money to support yourself and your family. So that is super important. So if you can't make that document perfect, you're not going to make the documents perfect that when you work for me. So punctuation, grammar, spelling, everything is at the utmost. And like I say, I see so many times where people have checked their spelling. Like I can totally see they've done spell check and it looks fine, but they've used the wrong tense of that word, or they've used the wrong punctuation at that time. Spell check is not always going to check that. Sometimes they do have a grammatical checker, and you can do that, but even then, not always. So get another set of eyes on it. And like I said, always read sentences backwards. That will always help you as well. You need to think like a business person when you're making this. What would I want to see to figure out whether I want to hire this person or not? Hundreds and hundreds of resumes come through. And now that everything is digital, a lot of resumes come through my email. So make sure that you have a compatible program. Sometimes people have done their resumes on WordPad. It doesn't always come through the way that they've set it up. Some of the parameters and things are different. The best way is Word. Most businesses have Word, and you can get Word. So I would say that is the best way. I would also say to save it as a PDF instead of Word. Save it as a PDF. That is probably the best way. But if you're going to send it electronically. But I will tell you that a paper resume a lot of times is a really good asset to you to be able to send that way. Because so many people are just throwing out resumes, it's really easy just to click and send, click and send. So if you get a paper resume, that always kind of perks my eyes to look at that person. Cover letters are really, 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 really good. They do not have to be long. They can be 3 or 4 sentences, but they need to have the right company. I have had so many cover letters that obviously they just had the same one and they send it to everyone. Yeah, I just toss those out if you have the wrong company in there. No, I mean, you can't take the time to make sure you're sending it to the right company. Yeah, that's not going to work. So make sure that you do a cover letter, whether that is through the email or through snail mail. Make sure you do a really nice cover letter. There are so many templates online that you can look at. I would just say the biggest part is do not make it lengthy. One of the things that you can put in your cover letter that I find really, really valuable is to say, whatever you're going to say in the first 2 sentences, but then the last sentence, I want you to say, some of the things that you will not see on my resume are that I am a team player. I get along with people, things that are a little bit more personality traits that I can't see in a resume, because the second most important thing I'm going to look for when I'm hiring someone is, do they fit into our team? Can they fit into our team? Because that is super important. If I have an engineer that has everything perfect and he has just perfect on paper, but he comes in and he's kind of snotty or he's kind of arrogant, that's not going to work with our team, because our team engineers work really closely together. So name some of those things on your cover letter. You want to say, some of the things that you will not see in my resume are that, this, that, and the other, hard worker, just different characteristics about yourself that maybe set yourself apart from other people. So, like, even if you live close, something you won't see on my resume is that I live 10 minutes away from the office, and I would not have any trouble commuting to the office. Just different things that would set you apart. So that is super important for the cover letter. But back to the resume, do's and don'ts. Please make sure that you think like a business owner. Always think like a business owner. You want to have the easiest thing to read. You don't want a lot of fluff. You don't want a lot of, how they have lines and graphics and all that. Do not worry about any of that stuff. When I go through my 200, 300 resumes, I want to just be able to look at it within like probably 15 seconds and decide whether I want to look at it further or whether I'm going to toss it. So in 15 seconds, it's like a first impression. 15 seconds, I decide yes or no. You would be amazed at how many I just toss into the garbage. And I don't even read. They may have all the skills and all the education possible, but I won't even read them any further. A resume is super, super, super important. It is the first impression. So make sure that you do the do's and the don'ts. And I think that's all that I have. I'll see if there's any questions at all. I'm not sure if anybody's even watching, but that's okay. You guys can always watch the replay. I am always available for any questions on this kind of thing. This is what I do. If you're just coming in, I am a executive director in the HR department here in the business that I work at. And we hire lots of people, and I see so many resumes that just go straight filed into the garbage. So does anybody have any questions? I am not even sure how long I've been on. I tried to go on for a while, make sure that I cover everything. I think that's all that I have. So if that is all and no one has any questions, then I will sign off for now, and we'll talk to you all another time. Bye.